Good morning. I'm out here in the garage doing something I've never done before that involves electricity, so it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll all be just glorious. And what that is I'm wiring up a headlight using a one-wire system. Now, I've seen it done on a couple channels before of chopper builders. I think Lane Split Boulevard, which, by the way, great channel. If you don't check them out, I'm sure you are if you're watching this one. My buddy Brand at Quality Handmade just did it on Instagram the other day. It's not incredibly complicated, but it's kind of like the way I wonder why I didn't do sugar before, and it's just way better. So what I've got is a 4.5-inch Bates style headlight, a cheapie that I bought online. That I might use. I might do something a little more interesting like an FNA or an alleyway or something. It's just, this is the cost-effective way and the easiest way to wire a switch in. So I'm going to get this headlight ready so that way when I do final assembly, and let's be honest, a day before Sturgis, I'll at least have a headlight here wired up that I can throw on the bike and be ready to go. So let's go ahead and do that. First, a little Billy Lane coffee. No, seriously, I don't know if you've tried this stuff before. That's just a can. Add a little heavy cream and some Splendid to it. Gives you a little go-go juice. All right, so let's wire up a headlight and see if I can't just shock the ever-living hell out of myself in a video. So, hey, by the way, you like my new little workstation here? Eh? The wife bought all this for me. Actually, we had a camera that died and had an extended warranty, so they just gave us a store credit on Amazon. So, you know, I've used this stuff before, the Vevor stuff, like my power washer, my welder, and all that's Vevor. So, this table, vise, and my new little polishing wheel here for like little bits, it was a deal, man. I think all this was like maybe $400, and that's how much we had in credit, so it didn't, you know, cost us any out of pocket. But yeah, love that Vevor stuff, man. I really like this stuff. It comes overseas, all that sort of stuff, but it's a freaking sweet deal. And so far, it's been really good stuff. Like, this is butcher's block and stuff, so high adjustable. Anyway, I'm off topic. So the headlight here, I got the ground already to the negative on my battery I got laying around here, and it's actually backwards, if I remember correctly. So I would think blue would be high because, you know, my brain works that way, but tisn't. All right, so that is low beam. Red is high beam. All right, see how the blue light comes on for that one and not for that one? So, all right. So red is low, blue is high. I've got a 3-way switch. What we're going to do is drill this guy out right about there. It's there, why not use it? And put the switch right there. I think maybe I'd like to preserve this bulb. A lot of guys just take it out and make it a low beam only, but Bill's like, you have 2 lights in there. My buddy Bill Stevens, who is we call him Bill, our Lord and Savior, always knows like the best way to do this, as he's built so many at home out of a 9x12 shed. He's like, you have 2 bulbs in here and you have 2 basically totally separate wiring systems. Why wouldn't you use them? Like, why wouldn't you have a backup in case one burns out or goes out? You still have another. Why just, so I'm going to try and do that, so I have a 3-way switch. But first, you're going to take the lamp out, take a look at the inside of the bucket. But I think what we're going to do is drill out somewhere on the bucket to mount the switch. And then what you do is you ground to the bucket, because the bucket is bolted onto the bike. That's more than an adequate ground. I've seen it done a billion times. And then you basically are just going to run a positive, hot wire out to your battery, essentially. You're grounded to the bucket. A hot wire out to your battery, and then you got low beam and high beam on the switch, and you're done. And hopefully don't light yourself up like a freaking Christmas tree when you turn it on and off. We'll test all that in a minute. Slight delay to the video. Just a second ago out that door, the missus came yelling, "He ate a frog, he's gonna die, da da da." So my incredibly lovable and yet stupid 120-pound Rottweiler evidently bit a bullfrog or something and was doing the foaming at the mouth, throwing up thing, because that's what they do when you bite a frog, is I believe they piss in your mouth. It makes you all sick. But so I've been on death watch for the last hour with the dog. He's not dead. He's totally the same lovable asshole again as he was before he bit the frog. Anyway, so now we're back at this, and my coffee buzz started to wear off, so I'm on my second Billy Lane Chopper's Ain't Coffee, so I can now see into the future. Good Lord. Shit really is good. I bought a pack when it first came out, and then in Daytona they're doing a tasting, and I did a tasting, and they gave me 3 more of them. So now that's my last one. Damn it. Anyway, so now let me finally disassemble this bucket, and then we'll see how the wiring is in the plug inside, and we'll figure out how to do all these modifications and shock wise. I mean, always use a screwdriver to mix your coffee. I seriously do this on a regular basis. I don't know what chemicals are on this screwdriver, but there's now good coffee on it. All right, so you got ground, which goes in through the bucket and, does grounding stuff. And then blue, which is low beam, just goes to the plug, which does the low beam on the lamp. And then red goes to both the high beam plug on the plug and then to the indicator here, right? So I'd like to keep that. I mean, I don't know, just because why not, you know? Full functionality. Call me crazy, but the idea of having a lens there that is dead when there was a light there just bothers me. So I might mount my switch over here and try and tie all that stuff in. How did Bryn do it? I can't remember if he may not have eliminated the light. I'll have to go look. But yeah, so you basically like the ground becomes one of these nuts here. It does just fine. And then the bucket, because the bucket's all bolted to the entire bike, the whole bike becomes the ground. It's fine. This is all fine. So then what I got to do is run one wire to my three-way switch, and then these other two wires to that switch, and then you got, you know, I think I should have off, low, and high. So let me figure all that out. All right, so I punched my hole for my switch, and I don't see any metal shavings in my coffee. So all right, we'll just go for that. I need to vacuum this up. I have a job site blower that I bought and use all the time, but I've said before, I don't even know this is just my freaking house, and so my little one's out here all the time, and I don't need her to get metal shavings and tiny toes. That shit hurts. So let me vacuum this up real quick and trim off that little bit of chrome funk we got there. To preface this stage of the video, I in no way had to Google how this is done. I in no way had to go to Bren from Quality Handmade's story that I snapped and saved the photo of so I could see what he did. I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. I just knew it. It's amazing the knowledge that's in this head. No, I totally went and looked and saw how others have done it. This is not a secret. I give credit where credit is due. So again, Lane Split Boulevard is a great video on how to do this. Better than this one. And then of course, Bren's photo is best. He took a picture of the bucket that he had wired up going like, this is the best way to do this. And I'm like, hell yeah, it is. I'll save that. So this is all done, and this is actually shockingly easy if you have the right kind of... So the old, if I can do it, literally you can do it, you know? So you got your three-prong plug. Like we showed before, you got one position of the switch will light up both, and then the other will light up just the low beam. So what you got here, I did all this in advance, as I have a negative, you know, grounding the inside of the bucket, but then I ran a wire from that screw to the battery so that I, you know what I mean, I can simulate it being on the bike, you know what I'm saying? So I got a negative here that's on the inside of the bucket, all right? That's the negative for all of it. And then red and blue run out to your switch. That's position 3 and position 1, all right? Position 2 is power. That's your positive. So what I did was, right now, like if I put it on, hang on, I only have one. All right, so position just in the middle is off. Position 2 in the switch, right? So I got nothing happening, right? Because it's off. If I go to position 1, that way, blue wire way, this should be low beam, right? Yeah, all right, so there's, oh no, high beam, sorry. So blue is high beam, okay? Because you see the little blue guys lit up too. And then position 3 should be low beam. So if I got this right, then the blue lens, this will light up, the blue lens will not. Okay, so you got low beam, no blue. So my headlight is now wired up. All I got to do now, this is all temporarily wired, obviously. I just got wires wrapped around screws. So what I need to do is put ring terminals on those guys and set this up properly. I already put a ring terminal on the negative. Yes, there are better connections that you can get, but it's what I had. So that'll be the reason why none of this works some night. It'll be something stupid like that. But let me go ahead and properly put ring terminals on those and install those. I already have the hole in the bucket, but we'll install the switch, put this all back together, and then in theory, what I should be able to do is positive, negative. Actually, I'm sorry, actually, no, I will have to. I'm sorry still, because it's not on a bike. Leave that negative on there, positive there, and then we'll just check the switch on the light itself. Just a side note, this might look messy, but the grommet that comes in that light is a little too big for single wire. And yes, that's really good wire I got from Throttle Addiction. And the missus is here. She had some instructions for me. A lot of instructions in life, especially if you can read that. It says, married to a Latina, you may be entitled to compensation. All right, so double, triple, quadruple, whatever check. We got middle position, which is off. Where the hell did the wire go? Nothing. We have red, which is low beam. Where the hell did it go? Bam. All right. We have blue, which is high beam. So in theory, it's the lamp and the little lamp button. There we go. All right, so that's all done right. Now I just got to make sure this all clears. It will. And then once I'm satisfied with all that, I'm going to liquid electrical tape the shit out of these connectors just to make sure that nothing's grounding and sparking and all that stuff. I would have never believed you if you'd have told me. You know, the hardest part of this whole thing is getting the godforsaken trim ring back on the headlight. Like that was stupid. I mean, like 30 minutes of going, you son of a bitch. Like, you know, and finally. And the thing is, what I really want to do after I test this, and let's be honest, electrocute myself, is take it all back apart again and then just get goopy with the liquid electrical tape. If you don't know what that is or have used it, I'll put a link or whatever. But this stuff right here, if it's something you're not going to see, because it is sloppy looking, but if it's something you're not going to see, and I'm not looking at the camera, sorry, you know, you really can just get, woo, you can get nasty with that stuff. And all it's going to do is seal up all your connections, keep water out, all that sort of stuff. So the inside of this bucket can look like a horror story. It's fine, a horror film, it's fine, you know. So what I'm going to do now is shock myself, let's be honest, and it's all together. And then once it's together, take it all back apart and get goopy with the liquid electrical tape, and then we're good to go. Then we can throw it on the bike, actually. We can see if, you know, we know that the bike will ground itself. But we'll test that just because why not once it's mounted, right? Okay, so I didn't leave myself enough negative, you know, wire, so it's got to have to be face down. But there's your headlight. Positive to positive. Is that on there? Yeah, good enough. So is it going to shock me? No! And there's high. Let's see, goes up there. Now, what? Where? Oh, backwards. So high, low. So there we go, man. And nothing is sparking. That's good. So yeah, we got high beam and low beam. So now let me go through all the pain in the rear of taking all this stuff back apart and gooping it up real good and sealing it up. But there I got a nice big, you know, switch wired up there and only have one wire coming out. So let me finish this up. Just decided my headlight mounting bracket is a little too long. It floats out. You know, it mounts here and it's like that's too far out. So we're going to take off about an inch. We'll cut it off right there and then drill a new hole, you know, about right there. But it's just too long. I'm using a Dremel because a big grinder will heat it up a bit too much. This will give me a nice little straight line. I use a Dremel more than the big grinder, honestly. I am shocked. Not actually shocked. It didn't shock me. It works. Like, I can't believe it. So we got the long, nice wire just run to the positive on the battery. We got the battery run to the frame. And then we got down, which is low beam, and up, high beam. And it actually is low, high. So, bam, that's all done. Oh yeah, the bracket turned out fine. I drilled the hole, shortened it, found some good looking chrome hardware, and we're good to go. So, low beam, high beam. Now that wire isn't going to be run to the battery when the bike's done, of course. The wire's actually... The wire's going to go before the stoppers here. These are just bolts that use it as a fork stop. The wire's going to go in this hole back here and then out. There's a hole on the other side of the frame here that I drilled, and then it'll come down to the ignition switch. So the ignition switch will be the main power, and then you got low, high. I'm not positive we'll use that headlight. I like the look of it. I'll show you in a second. I like the look of it. It's a 4.5. It's a little round. I like the idea of a triangle, and Bill threw a tantrum, and he's helped me so much that I figured I'd listen to him. I love headlights like F&A makes a really cool light because it's actually a Ferrari lens that they use. It's a rectangle. You can get them in tinted or clear or bronze and all that. That's really cool. I also really like this headlight made by Alleyway Customs, which is a smaller shop that's, I hope I'm not wrong here, a smaller, newer shop that's becoming really, really popular. They were at Daytona, had some really cool looking stuff, and they make an ovular headlight that's LED and really cool. So I'd like that too. Also, LED lights are better. You can see better. So I don't know. I mean, we may end up running this headlight for a bit. This bike, in theory, is going to go to Sturgis. and we'll have some foam that it shows there, and then it won't actually go to where it matters, you know what I mean, where it's going to be judged at SmokeOut until a month later. So we might go to Sturgis with some stuff on it, come back and make some changes, things that feedback, you know, et cetera, we get at Sturgis. We might come back and make some changes. Feedback from those that I care about their opinion. Come on, I'm not just saying anybody walks up, but, you know, like in the past, Brown Sugar, Roadside Marty walked up and said, you know what's letting that bike down? I made a decision when I built Brown Sugar, is I put a 19-inch wheel in the front and a taller tire. I just thought it was cool because it was a little less common today anyway. And Roadside, who of course I respect his opinion, said a 21 would make that bike. Like, it really needs a big lace wheel. So there's some feedback there. That's the reason why we're running a 21 on this one. So I don't know, man. Maybe we'll run an alleyway or an F&A headlight, you know, between Sturgis. Maybe before Sturgis. I don't know. We just got to decide. Those headlights aren't as easy to add a switch to. So I'd have to add the switch elsewhere that I don't want to do. I really want the switch on the headlight, but there you go. Let's show you the face. Light behind it. You can't see that well, but that's her face thus far. I think it looks freaking fantastic. No, we're not running a front brake or a front fender because chopper shit. I got a lot of stuff already on it. You can see I got this really cool clutch lever that I got from Lowbrow, I think, but the guy's actually in Italy that makes them. They're just freaking gorgeous. And then, yeah, no front fender, no front brake. And then we got some the brass bits on there. We got, of course, the ignition cover from Joel at JH Choppers that memorializes Natalie. So on loan from Natalie, and then my logo. We also have over there the derby cover. That's just my logo in brass, so that'll be cool. I have a new chrome inner primary in a box over there. I have to order a new outer primary, but that's final assembly stuff. Next steps, I guess, will be taking her to Bryn. I might leave the motor in it and everything. I'll just rent a U-Haul trailer. It's easier to get it over there. I have two trailers, besides my RV, and then, you know, my dad and I own 17 by 7.5 Vinos, but he uses it to store his trike. So using it's a pain in the ass. So I own two vehicles capable of hauling motorcycles besides my truck. Truck is full of stuff. If you're an RVer, you know what I'm talking about. Hoses and power cables and all that crap. Bed of the truck's completely full. RV is a pain in the ass to get out. It's 36 feet long, and it's got 3 bikes in it right now. The Vinos is Dad's garage. So I own all these trailers, and I'm still going to have to rent one from U-Haul, but that's all right. It's like $20 to rent one for the day. We'll take it over to Bryn, probably just as it sits, because why bother pulling the motor? It's sitting in there. You know, to give you the total picture of what it's going to look like. So he is going to weld in my tank bungs, because any welding I do would look like a crazy person off the street did it. So he's going to put a nice, you know, bead around the tank bungs. He's going to make my seat pan, which is something he is really freaking good at. Again, Instagram, Quality Handmade Cycles. He's going to make a steel seat pan, king and queen, with the ridge and all that stuff. Then I'm thinking next step is going to be to take all of that, complete as it is, over to Jeffrey Phipps, to his house, so that he can make a seat pan and have the bike. Because last time he made my seat cover, it came out fantastic, but by accident almost, because if you don't have the exact positioning of this bolt head, you know, that's securing the fender onto the Sitsy bar, that can make life really hard for Jeff. And when I got home, I had to do a little cutting. He had made a hole, but I had to make the hole a little bigger because it wasn't big enough for the head. I'm also thinking I'd like the seat to stop here-ish, you know, to give a little more of Sissy bar sticking out. So if it stops right about there, that could be cool. Just overall, you know, get what the bike is going to look like when he's making the seat cover. And then once I get it back from Jeff with a fully made seat, all that sort of stuff, then it comes all the way down. The frame goes to powder coat, and the rear fender and tank go to Carl. So that's where we be so far. Let me know what you think. You know, comments down below, all that. I read all that stuff. Feedback, ideas, something you may have noticed. I know that I was saying blue and red, backward and forward all through that video, and I think I was wrong half the time. That's just, my brain doesn't work right, you know? Anyway, so I love you all to death. Thanks for watching this stuff. It really means the world to me. It really does. I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. So take care of each other. We'll talk real soon. Bye.